Hi everybody, my name is Mike. I'm here on the Bammster podcast. I'm trying to decimate this entire channel filled with traps and everything that our game Antigraviator has to throw at him.
Hello guys and welcome back to another episode of... What are we doing again? G? Remind me please?
Bammster's Rated R.
Yay! Bammster's Rated R, episode 70 I believe. Am I not right there, Drac?
Yes, you are, for once.
Yeah, I'm right. Alright guys, as you probably heard, I've managed to wrangle both G and Drac in the corral, and I'm gonna whoop them to death with my crazy opinions on news type stuff and things, and I believe G's got some rather annoying news to start with. So G, tell us a bit about this Dust and Project Nova stuff that you've got there in your back burner, mate. Go on, tell us.
Dear God, do you really want to talk Dust and Project Nova?
Yes, I want to talk Dust and Project Nova before Drac takes me into Destiny 2. Please, yes. Let's get the annoying stuff over with first, please.
Okay, I guess our friends over at Biomassed have been collecting a lot of information. They've been tracking down CCP Retard. And basically, it seems like they're going to make it different than Dust in that there won't be CPU PG ratings, but there'll be something unified. And there'll be capacitors which will work just like mana. So they're basically trying to turn the game into Paragon.
Okay, now, this is the bit that annoys me. Why the living fuck do you want to make Dust 514, or Dust, or Nova, an MMO? A MOBA. What's it? It's a MOBA, isn't it? There's so many freaking acronyms. It's a MOBA. Why do you want to make Dust a MOBA? Why? Why?
Well, I don't know if it'll be exactly a MOBA, but it'll be, the whole multiplayer thing, and with active abilities that you have to keep an eye on your capacitor, which, as I think Retard said, is basically mana, and you'll have to fit things more or less like we do in, most of these MOBAs, except you have to fit them up front, and you have to choose your fittings through the game, so it's that mixture of first-person shooter and then MOBAs, I guess. And it'll be nice indoors, close quarters, minimal maps. The only thing they're gonna miss is minions and towers.
I still don't quite understand why they want to do that to Dust. Do they think it's gonna work? Are they actually gonna try and pull this off? I don't see the idea behind it. What's the end goal here? I'm really struggling to see it.
Something closer to EVE Online-ish?
If you want something close to EVE Online, mate, go look at Microsoft Excel.
Fair enough. But yeah, that's basically where they are. They are changing a little bit how that whole fitting things work. And they're looking at different things, and at this point, it's a little bit up in the air. The interesting part that came out earlier this year was apparently the team is moving to Reykjavik.
So CCP Shanghai is dead and is now going to be part and sucked into CCP Reykjavik?
I think CCP Shanghai will keep making mobile games.
Okay.
Yeah, you might remember that one where you shoot asteroids that comes towards you.
No, I know. What I'm getting at. I get that. What I'm getting at. They've only made one bloody mobile game. One. Are there more? What were the updates?
To be fair, well, they did make a sequel, or are making a sequel, something like that. But this is CCP Games. They, the fact that they managed to release a game is, it's a feat in itself.
Now that's a bit of criticism I would normally agree with, but I've seen how hard some of these guys work when it comes to CCP, and they do put the hours in. I just want to know what's happening over in CCP Atlanta.
How's that Frisbee game, Frisbee?
Tron Frisbee, yeah, that's the bit I want to know a bit more about. I might have to kick Jolly and send him up to Atlanta to go and raid CCP Atlanta, I think, yeah. Might have to get that up to speed with Jolly, yeah. Might have to do that.
Kick him in the jollies?
What is that one all about?
Alright, for the PC Master Racer who doesn't know what EVE Online is basically Microsoft Excel, where you pick up your Excel document and throw it across the room, and if it hits someone, that's considered a kill. That's how EVE Online is played. You throw Excel documents at each other. Okay, so what they've gone ahead and done is CCP have got an Atlanta office, and they're making a VR or augmented reality version of Frisbee Tron Tennis. So you remember, you've seen Tron, yeah, and they throw those discs at each other or whatever have you, yeah?
Yes.
Okay, right. Essentially, it's that, but it's so much cooler. Dude, seriously, get off your backside and go type in EVE Frisbee or EVE Frisbee Tron Tennis, whatever have you, and go and see how cool this is. It is beautiful. And I'm really considering telling Jolly to get on his Harley to take a drive up to Atlanta to have a look-see what those guys are getting up to. Because I'm really keen to know what those guys are doing.
That sounds kind of cool. Is it going to be console only, or are they releasing that for the PC as well?
Right now, safe bet, nothing. Because that's CCP. It's a project. And if something's written under project, they will talk about it briefly, discuss it slightly, and mention it in the shadows and closed rooms and so on. And they'll release it as something else completely different. But yeah, it's gonna be PC, and I can only see it being played on the PC. But yeah, how they're gonna integrate it into the EVE universe, I'm not sure. But it's gonna be a brilliant game. Some of the guys that developed EVE Valkyrie are working at CCP Atlanta, because it's as far as I'm aware, it's where the next gen or next idea comes from when it comes to VR and whatever have you. So yeah, it's gonna be really cool. I've seen some video of it when they did some announcements at some of the E-Fests and bits and pieces, and I've seen some video footage of it being played by 2 devs, and it is freaking awesome. Absolutely freaking awesome.
Well, it sounds cool.
My guess is it's still a project because, they announced it as Sparc. Not Project Sparc, but just Sparc.
Sure, Sparc isn't an acronym for Silly Project, Atlanta, Room, something.
Tron, no.
No, I was almost going there as well, Tron. So, Special Projects, Atlanta, or something. There we go. Something like that. It's probably an acronym for something.
Anyways, it's a project, it's ongoing, it will be released, I think, PS4 and HTC Vive and Oculus and everything else.
Speaking about cross-platform games, Drac, go on. What's this I hear about Destiny?
Well, at least the exciting news for me has been that Destiny 2 is coming out for the PC as well, which is what they should have done with the original Destiny game to begin with.
Okay, are you a bit bitter?
Just a little bit. But there was a bunch of information that was released I think it was just this past week. They did a live stream, kind of an announcement. They had a bunch of people in an auditorium there. The stuff looks pretty cool, and it sounds like they're kind of doing a wipe on the world with regards to how the story takes place, and you get stripped of everything and start fresh. I thought that I had heard somewhere you might be able to bring your character over. I can't remember for sure, but like I said, the exciting thing for me is I'll finally get a chance to play it on my PC instead of on console, because I never seem to have that much time to boot up the PS4 anymore, so.
Bamm is seeming awfully quiet when it comes to Destiny.
I'm waiting for G to interject.
I don't have anything to say. I would correct Drac or say that, yeah, I think it's been confirmed that you can bring over your character, but all the skills, everything is reset.
No, look, as I've said many times when it comes to Destiny and Destiny 2, whatever have you, I just want them to start over. And I understand that Activision had, I want to say Activision had, Bungie had a rough going of the first Destiny launch, because of how Activision and obviously themselves partitioned the game so brutally by quite literally cutting the game down to 4? Oh, it was horrible. Absolutely freaking horrible. And completely killing the storyline. Now, I understand the music guy and the storyline guy both fucked off. Quite a high up head honcho dude fucked off as well. I'm very aware of that. I just want them to wipe the slate clean and start from the beginning with a proper story. And I know for a fact they got rid of Dinklebot and they reworked the story to at least to make some sort of sense. But it still doesn't make any bloody sense. And playing Destiny now is pointless. Really it is. It's utterly pointless. So Destiny 2, let's hope Destiny 2.0 is, well, just that. The Destiny, not Destiny 1. We can always all forget about Destiny. Let's just hope they do better this time. I really hope they do.
So what you're saying is, as a PC player, I didn't miss anything with the first Destiny game.
Oh, mate, let me tell you right now, you missed a fuck... Oh, well, I swear now, yeah. You missed a fuck ton. My favorite raid ever, still the Vault of Glass. Still the Vault of Glass. I've done all the raids. And the Vault of Glass is still my favorite. Yeah, dude, seriously? You missed a lot. You missed a cracking game. But then you see, it's not necessarily the story you're playing with, or the characters you're playing with. It was the friends you were doing the raids with, because for me, Destiny was all about the raids, and acquiring tools and kit and guns and armor for those raids to make you, better. And it was how you went about doing it with your mates and your friends. That, for me, was Destiny. But then, I don't know, it just died because the devs killed it. Activision killed it. It was just partitioned off, and it was horrible. Horrible. But hopefully, they're back on track now. They know where they want to go. They know what they want to do. Hopefully we get Dinklage back. And, hopefully it moves on from there. And I still say that Dinklage, I loved how he did the ghost. The ghost? Yeah, whatever. I love how he did it. I thought it was really, really funny. Even though I think he could have been a bit more, a bit more narcissistic, if that's even a freaking word. But, they changed his voice.
The thing I found kind of funny about that was there were articles about how him reading for that part was too robotic. And it's like, wait a minute. It's a little robot. Isn't it supposed to be robotic?
Yeah, I was reading the same articles as you. He is a robot. Aren't you meant to be a robot? But then again, I don't necessarily blame Dinklage for the way he sounded, because he had an audio director that directed him how to talk and how they wanted him to say things. So, can you really blame Dinklage for the fact that the ghost sounded that bad? If you think it sounded that bad? Not really. You've got to blame the whole team that was involved. And I didn't think it was as bad. I thought it was bloody good. I thought his voice acting was great. But then that's me. And I wrote an article when Destiny came out many moons ago. And I still stand by it. Destiny, at the time, for me, was one of the best games ever. But that was when it was just starting out, when none of the bullshit happened. None of the crap was there. All the promise, all the hope, all the excitement about playing the game was still there because you didn't know where, what, and how. You were going to do a raid. Do you want to do the raid in this amount of time to get a certain box or whatever have you? And now it's just, what's the point? What is the point?
Well, and I know from what I was watching in the videos last week or this past week with regards to like what you were talking about before with community, that seemed to be kind of a really big theme with the crowd there and the stories that they were telling about how things had, people had played the game and formed these communities. One thing we were talking kind of a little bit around about a few minutes ago, but not really directly hitting on is, and I don't think I've seen an announcement, but I'm still probably foolishly crossing my fingers, holding my breath, hoping that there'll be crossplay between the different platforms with it.
I think I'm willing to say there won't be crossplay in the story.
I think that's probably how it'll end up, but that's really disappointing. I'm still kind of hoping there will be.
The amount of crying there will be from PC master racers, if they even are seeing a console player anywhere near their precious game, it's gonna be horrendous. Bungie knows this. And there's going to be a lot of focus on PvP. There you cannot have crossplay. It just won't work.
Well, you don't need to have crossplay in PvP because of people in either direction whining, either the console players whining that PC players have too much of an advantage, or, PC players being pricks about console players being in there, whatever. But during the cooperative and the story part missions and the raids where you're all working together, it shouldn't matter what platform you're playing on.
It will matter, and I'll almost guarantee again that there will be differences between the PC and the console versions. Console versions will have aim assist and all those things that are just in that kind of game, whereas there won't be on the PC, and if they will allow them, to play together, there'll be, again, just too many complaints.
Well, if it's co-op, though, you're not fighting against each other. What kind of complaints are you seeing?
Doesn't matter. Trust me. People complain about this constantly. They'll complain on every single platform, every single game, no matter what. I think it's sad. I would think it's okay to have crossplay. And sure, adjust settings accordingly. The game will work slightly different on the two platforms. Good. Let them, get whatever they need to play the game well. And let that be that. But I don't think Bungie will go there. I really do not.
Oh, God. Sorry, guys. I'm going to cut you off there. My God. Surely we've got something else to talk about, seriously, because Dust 514 and CCP, boring, old news. Destiny and not having crossplay, boring, old news. Surely we have something else to talk about. And I swear to God, if any one of you crazy guys say, we talk about the royal wedding, I'm gonna jump over there and I'm gonna murder the pair of your faces. Seriously, is there nothing else out there?
Nothing. Not this week.
God! You're joking, so there's no interesting news out anywhere.
Well, as far as I can tell, my Twitter account has been flooded about people registering to vote and Trump being impeached, not impeached, impeached, not impeached.
Oh, another fucking Trump
no.
shit. Fucking leave Trump alone. Fuck off. It's been 3 months since he's been in presidency. Leave him the fuck alone. The stupid shit about these stupid fucking Coeck memes and stuff. Stop it. Fuck's sakes. Just carry on. Move on. Jesus. It's like every day someone's bitching about Trump. Jesus Christ. I don't fucking care. Leave him. Just leave Trump alone. Leave Britney alone. Seriously, like, God, it's just one of those things. Every day there's something to bitch about Trump. Every day there's a meme about, oh, fuck's sakes, I've had enough. Seriously, just shoot me now. If this is where the human race is going, I'll end my life right now. Just shoot me now. Bang. God, Jesus.
Well, what else have there been? Sky has released a new mix. I was streaming that earlier. Venom, there's some dude that people are excited about that's gonna play him. The Expanse Season 2 will be on Netflix July 7th. That just came out.
Yes and no on the Venom thing. Venom is a great Spider-Man villain, but as a standalone character, the Eddie Brock Venom, that is kind of a hard sell.
Hang on, Venom's getting his own movie. Now this is news. Do tell.
Yeah, Sony's trying to do kind of like what Marvel has done and what DC is still trying to figure out how to do. They're trying to put together their own comic book cinematic universe, and so they're going to put together a Spider-Verse, and they're going to use different characters from the Spider-Man comics that they have rights to and do different movies with that. And so their first one that they're going to do separate from Spider-Man is Venom. And they've cast Tom Hardy, who played Bane and has been in a bunch of other things, but from the comic book world, probably most notable for his role as Bane. And I don't have a problem with him cast in that role, but it's kind of a hard sell for me to have the Eddie Brock Venom be its own character without Spider-Man to play off of, because Venom really is kind of the anti-Spider-Man. Okay.
So, what I heard you say, it was meow meow meow, I'm a dirty bitch. But there's a point you did make earlier on that I agree with. Marvel have made their cinematic universe very, very well, and DC are still trying to figure that out. Now, I agree there. DC have tried and failed horribly, especially with the Suicide Squad. Now, I actually watched the theatrical trailer. I went to the cinemas to watch it, and I've actually just watched it on TV last night, and there were 3 different freaking edits to it. It was so disjointed. You could see where they've cut and glued bits in to make... Oh, God. Yeah. I just wish they'd made... Like the, God, what's that? Deadpool. There we go. I wish they'd just made Suicide Squad similar to Deadpool, where it was a case of 0 fucks given. If you don't like the film, don't watch it. And I think that's the approach that the Deadpool guys did, to an extent. Even though it was full of silly jokes that got really old really quickly. But it was still a good film. Now, if Suicide Squad had even taken 1/10 of that, it would have been a much better bloody film. And I really hope DC get their shit wired, because some of the DC characters are my favoritists. Batman, particularly, my favoritist. And I'm sorry, but the latest Batman, I'm not a fan of right now, because it always looks like he wants to take a shit. Always look like he's on that verge of wanting to take a shit. I don't get it. I don't understand. Why?
So you prefer the Bale Batman screaming in your face?
No, that's... Believe it or not. What was the first Batman film you ever watched when you were a kid?
Michael Keaton.
Correct! Now that, to me, mate, was my favourite as Batman. And I know I was like fucking, 5? I don't know how old I was. I was like really young when I first saw it. And holy shit, it scared the crap out of me. But that's Batman, dude. That's fucking Batman. Not the guy go, I'm Batman, and then there's one that looks like he wants to take a shit all the time. And don't get me started on Batman vs Superman. Holy shit, that sucks. I really hope Wonder Woman is as good as it bloody well looks. Because it looks like they've actually got it, from what I've seen, looks like they're going to get it right. And I really hope they do. Even though I don't agree with the actress they've picked, but let's hope she does a good job.
You know, that's actually one of the first DC movies I'm going to be excited to go see in a while now.
Don't get your hopes up, my good man, because I got my hopes up for Batman vs Superman, 2 of my favouriteest superheroes since ever. And I swear to God, they might have well just rolled that freaking wheelchair dude in, and he would have done a better job. He's dead now, right?
Who?
The guy that played Superman that ended up in a wheelchair after a horse riding accident. He would have done a
Christopher
bit.
Reeve.
There we go. Thank you. He's with me. He would have done a bit of Batman. Oh, Batman. Actually, yeah, he would have done a bit of Batman. He would have done a bit of Superman. Then the current freaking Superman. And he's in a freaking wheelchair. Is the point I'm trying to get at. So hey.
You know what though? I don't blame Henry Cavill for his portrayal of Superman as much as I blame the director, because like we mentioned about Dinklebot, the director is telling him how he wants him to portray the scene.
And I'm not saying it's totally the actor's fault. I'm not no way implying that. But actually, I think I did maybe imply it, a small touch. But it's just, God, the movies nowadays suck balls. What happened to Full Metal Jacket? What happened to films like Die Hard? The first Die Hard, and the second Die Hard, and the third Die Hard are the best Die Hards. The fourth Die Hard sucked balls. Die Hard 5, mediocre. What happened to films like that? What happened? Where it was action-packed and it was you went and enjoyed to watch it. I mean, you might not agree with me on this one, but when I say Twister, that film with, I think it was Goldie Hawn, I think?
No, it was Bill Pullman. And,
it was Bill Pullman, yes.
What's her name? She was on that TV show with that comedian guy. Of course, here we go. I'm just listing off crap that doesn't mean anything.
I want to say Goldie Hawn, but I don't think it's Goldie Hawn.
No, it wasn't Goldie Hawn. Anyway,
that chick. And apparently in the States, the film Twister tanked. But my God, that's a bloody good watch. It's a bloody good film. The first Jurassic Park. Okay, it's a bit dated now. Bloody good film.
Hunt.
There, Helen Hunt. That's it, Helen Hunt. The second Jurassic Park. Bloody good film. The third Jurassic Park, oh my God, that was crap. The fourth Jurassic Park, Jurassic World, oh my God, that was crap. What happened to all these good films? What happened to them? God, it's like dying slowly.
Oh, I got a great one for you then if you want to talk about films and I just watched or saw an article that they're going to reboot the Resident Evil series.
What? Why are you rebooting a series that doesn't need a reboot? Why?
They just finished a run with it, and I guess they've decided that maybe Mila Jovovich is too old to keep playing the part, so they're going to reboot it. I don't know.
I don't get it. Why are they rebooting Resident Evil? I want to call it timeless to an extent, but if you go back and watch the first one all the way through to the end, it's still relative. Why? Are they going to reboot the Walking Dead series? God fucking forbid. God la.
Bamm, I think I can then make you cry a little bit. Do you remember The Fifth Element?
That's a bloody good film. That's a good film. Fifth Element, man. What a good film. Yeah, that's another one of those good films. Yeah.
So Luc Besson has been talking about a sequel.
Okay, a sequel, not a reboot. I'm not crying yet.
Yeah, go watch, was it Valerian? It's about to come out, or has it come out? I can't even remember. And some of the other stuff he's been making. That can go both good and it can go really bad.
The thing about the Fifth Element, I want to see it as well. The thing about Fifth Element, dude, is it was so left field that it was great. Look at the first Starship Troopers. So freaking left field, but it was a great fucking film. You could see they were on a budget as well, the way they did things, because they spent it all on the CGI shit they did. But they were on a budget. Films like the guy that did, I think it was the guy that did Aliens, RoboCop, and Starship Troopers were all the same guy, I think. Wasn't it? No, it wasn't Alien. It wasn't Alien. It wasn't Aliens. It was RoboCop. It was Starship Troopers, and there was quite a few other ones, and they were all like cult classics. But Starship Troopers, man, bloody good film. The second one, crap. The third one, crap. I'm not sure there was a fourth, and if there's a fourth, don't bother.
That's a cartoon. The fourth one is good, actually. The cartoon's actually pretty darn good.
It's a cartoon?
Yeah, but as it's good. That one's worth watching. The first one and the fourth one are good.
I didn't even know there was a fourth one. Okay, I need date and name so I can go and find this bloody thing.
Yeah, the only thing I would say is be careful with saying Starship Troopers is good, because you will have a lot of people saying it should not be called Starship Troopers and just bitching because it has nothing to do with the book.
I appreciate that. I do appreciate that. I appreciate that. But it's a bloody good film, nonetheless. Okay.
Well, I wouldn't say Starship Troopers was great. I would say it was so bad that it was good. But on that note, I think we're going to wrap it up for this week. Hope you guys have enjoyed, and stick around for our interview coming up next with the folks from Antigraviator. So for myself, Draconusx, I'm out.
And I'll just add, since we recorded before we recorded this part, pay attention at the end. He mentions a beer Cornet by Bamm, or the Bamm Breweries. That is a freaking good beer, because I tried it since listening to that interview. Damn, that's good. So, stay around. We'll have that little interview running.
Two things. Drac, how dare you say Star Troopers is not a very good film? And G, yes, you are quite correct. I've done the same as you. That beer is delicious. Right, guys, from me, I'll catch you in the interview. Much love, bye!
Dag iedereen, het is hier Mike, de cybernetische walrus, die momenteel op de Bammster podcast jullie alles komt vertellen over Antigraviator.
Hello guys, welcome back to this week's interview. We have got a cracking one for you today. A bit of a nostalgia game for me, because I've played something like this, and as always, joining me is my wingman, as referred to in a few podcasts back, my fellow Meals on Wheels. G, say hi.
Hey everybody, yes, it's one of those interview thingies. And Bamm's already excited because I think we're all in some way fans of Wipeout, and yeah, we're heading down that road, I think.
We are indeed. G, who's our guest today?
So our guest is Mike from the Walrus team. We're here to talk about the game Antigraviator. I guess that name is rather descriptive. It's a game without gravity. Mike, do you want to introduce yourself?
Yes, sure. So my name is Mike Coeck. I am a Belgian of all places, and I am actually a co-founder and the managing director of Cybernetic Walrus. And as you've heard, we are working on a game called Antigraviator, which is basically anti-gravity and aviator mixed together into one word.
And I guess for those wondering, yeah, anti-gravity and aviator, you're flying around on a track in a vehicle, a little bit Star Warsy for those that remember those movies. No gravity, and it's just race as fast as you can and avoid being hit by falling rocks and bombs and everything else that happens around you.
Correct. That's basically what we offer. It's an anti-gravity racer. Think Wipeout. Think recently Retard, Fast Racing Era Mix. There's been a couple of these lately. Of course, Wipeout is the most known one and the oldest one. But it's not just a copy of the game, like I read somewhere, but we actually added a twist to it, and that being environmental traps. So the idea is that while you're flying around, the entire track is rigged with traps, and you can actually activate those. You can have rocks falling on the track. You can have like these hover mines popping up, all to stop your opponent and to make it not as fun for him to race, and hopefully make it more fun for you to get to the finish first.
I would say you should be careful when doing this as a player, because the demo said to me, press B, although I was not having a controller that has a B but circle, and you will trigger a trap. And I go, okay, sure, B, circle. And I was showered with rocks. I trapped myself.
Yeah, that's for the tutorial. That's to show the effect. I have to say we have some issues with the trap system as it is at the moment, because you don't always see the effect of a trap. I mean, you activate it and it pops up somewhere. Your opponent usually sees it because he gets blasted with rocks or he gets hit by a rocket or whatever, but you as a player don't always see it. So we're still working on the way we give feedback to the player. But on the tutorial, we really wanted to show you that something really happens when you do press that button. So yeah, in that case, you got showered by rocks. Don't forget, it's still an alpha. We have ideas to maybe have like another player fly past you right when you're going to trigger it, and then have him knocked out of the road. But again, it's an alpha. We're still working on these things, and to be honest, these are really minor things.
Oh yeah, and I enjoyed how you did the tutorial. It slows down the gameplay and tells you, now do something, now here, pay attention.
Yeah, that's actually some feedback we've gotten from some of our testers, that it would have been, we didn't have that in the beginning, and it was kind of hard to play the tutorial. Now it slows down and it waits till you actually do what you need to do. Now at the moment it's still controller based, but we also have the keyboard controls into place now that we actually want to use for the game. We're not gonna make it so that you can change these. I know a lot of people would really want that, but it also prolongs a bit on our development time, and at first the key set will be the same for everyone. So we really want to make it very intuitive, so you can actually, well, that it makes it handy for everyone to do the same handling. And I think we're getting close to that as well on the controller as on the keyboard at the moment. But we still need to have those keyboard images in the tutorial and all of these things. Again, that's more towards the finishing of the game and the polishing.
Yeah, I'd just ask, you're familiar with the concept of cognitive dissonance. I'm sitting with a PlayStation 4 controller and it's showing me an Xbox controller. Needs to be more images.
The thing is also at the moment we're not really planning for a release on PlayStation. We're actually planning for a release on Xbox. I should tell you a bit about the history of the game maybe first, so you can get where all of these Xbox buttons are coming from. So actually, Cybernetic Walrus is a team of 4 students. We're actually still students. We're in our final year of a course called Digital Arts and Entertainment. It's a course in game art, game development. There's also a VFX part, which we have nothing to do with. So basically you have, now it's, when we started it, you had a year that was like the same for everybody, and then you would major in something specific like game development or game art or VFX. Now you have to choose in the first year. But basically the game was a school project. It started as a school project, and one of the requirements of this project was to use an Xbox 360 controller. So that was one of the requirements, and that's kind of why we stick to the Xbox controller. And also another reason that now that we're actually in full-time development of the game are choosing for Xbox, even though we really know that PlayStation 4 people want it because they've asked me for it. But we know that on the Xbox, I mean, if I say PlayStation, everybody says Wipeout, and if I say Nintendo, then they say F-Zero, or maybe now Fast Racing RMX or Fast Racing Neo. But on the Xbox, I don't think there's a game like that, and that's what we want to try to be the anti-gravity racing game for Xbox. So that's also basically why we have those images in there for now.
Okay, fair enough. I mean, it was just one of those things where you sit there and go, should I get another controller? Nah, I'll ignore that it says B and I'll press circle instead.
Yeah, it does the same thing. I mean, we have the controls in there, so we support both the Xbox and the PlayStation 4 controller, so it's not really an issue. We're using Unity to develop our game, and one of the add-ons we are using is called Rewired, and it's a good tool for managing your joysticks, so and gamepads, of course. So with those we can actually support a lot of controllers. So we do support the PlayStation one, but we don't have the images in there at the moment.
Listen, Mike, if you need some images of a PlayStation controller, mate, I could very easily take a picture on my phone and email it to you. Yeah, if you need the help, yeah, clearly you need the help and the development, because a PlayStation controller isn't difficult to get pictures for. You know, you can do a quick Google search and then you can just swap the image around. Right, believe it or not, mate, you've actually jumped into the deep end, particularly with me, and you've answered already half my questions. I was going to ask about you and your team, specifically, I was going to ask about you and your team. I want to know a bit more about you and your team. So please, tell me about yourself.
All right. As I already mentioned, we are 4 students, but we are not kind of the typical students, I guess, because I'm 41. Yes, that's 41. That's old to some people. But at the age of 38, I decided to go back to school and get a bachelor degree. I didn't get around to doing that when most people do it, around the age of 18 to 20. I actually did work in the IT sector myself. For 15 years, I did a lot of technical stuff, not programming, more server-related, server installing, technical architect for server infrastructure, all of these things. But yeah, I'm a gamer by heart, and I really wanted to do something in the game sector. I know I wouldn't get in it by just like doing nothing, so I decided to go back to school. So that's me. Then on the team we have 3 other people. There is Peter Dont. He's also an atypical student, I guess, because he already got his master degree in applied physics. So he's a civil engineer in applied physics. He didn't want to go to work yet, and he decided to come to Digital Arts and Entertainment and get another bachelor on top of his master degree. Then you have Dovydas Budrys, which is one of our artists. He's from Lithuania. So parents live in London. He lives in Belgium. His girlfriend lives in the Netherlands, so he's very international. And he's like really a top artist. I mean, you've probably seen the environments in our game. Well, how he works with light, with the lighting and with everything. I mean, he's really top notch. So he already also worked for 2 years before coming to Digital Arts and Entertainment. And then we have the youngest of the team, which is Sismadia Sabolc. He's from Hungary. So again, we are an international team, although we all are in Belgium. We all work from the same location. It's not that we work through the internet or everything, no, we're actually sitting together. So he's the youngest from Hungary. He's also a top-notch 3D artist. He's more like a technical artist to us. He does a lot of the shader coding also, but then, yeah, shader coding, as I said, we use Unity. For that, we use Shader Forge, which is an add-on tool which makes actually the shader programming in Unity look a bit more like you would do it in a real engine. So yeah, that's basically his strength. And again, if you put two great artists together, you really get nice graphics.
That I don't disagree with. I've just got one question for you right now. Where's the rest of your team, bro? If you're sitting together, where are they? Are they in the same room as you? Are they next door? Are they taking a shit? Where are they, dude?
Well, it's already 9:30 here, so they're probably asleep. No, I don't know. The thing is, the problem with me is I live in Antwerp and we work in Kortrijk. I know that won't say a lot to people, but let's say there's a difference of like 100 kilometers between the two. I go back and forth each day. That takes me about 2 hours by train, and most of the team stays actually in Kortrijk, which is much easier. And but yeah, I have a girlfriend. I'm a bit older. I have other obligations to take care of. That's why I travel back and forth. During the day, we're sitting together.
No, that's fair enough. Being an elderly gentleman, because we all know if you pass the age of 21 now, you're over the hill, you're old.
Yeah.
Put yourself in the grave. 21 is old people. That's when you're an old person of 21. I agree there. Totally agree. So listen, dude, you said you got a guy who's got an engineer in a master's in applied physics for civil engineering. Did that come in handy when it came to Antigraviator?
Yes, absolutely. The thing is, I told you it was a school project, so it started as a school project, but we actually didn't start with the same team we are now. So we swapped out 2 team members, and it's for different reasons. I mean, one person wanted to go work at a bigger company with a more international view and not in an indie company like ours, and the other person that was in the team, he still had some courses to do from second year, so he couldn't do his internship, so that's why we lost him in the process. And we had to have 2 new guys, and I've known Peter from the start of the education, so I know how good he is with physics. So he really came in handy to do things like loopings, like corkscrews, all of these things, because normal gravity doesn't really like you going upside down and stuff. So he really took care of those things.
That is brilliant. So my next question is now, why Cyber Walrus? Because I've got a picture of you in my head right now. Is a big fat blubbery dude with huge whiskers and big ass teeth. Why Cyber Walrus, dude?
But you do have a picture in your head, or you have the actual picture? Because
no, I haven't got the picture. It's a mental picture in my head that the name Cyber Walrus is just. I don't mean to call you fat, bro. It's just, it's a case of it's a big fat blubbery thing with huge moustache and big teeth sticking out with the fedora cap type thing with a headphone set and on his computer. Why the name Cyber Walrus? Where'd you come from it? Where'd it come from?
Okay, so actually the funny thing is it's kind of stupid, because we were like trying to come up with a team name, and we were actually just like Googling random names in a program online. I think there's like a game name generator or something. We were actually looking for a good name for the game, and at some point it said Cybernetic something, and at another point it said blah blah Walrus, and we thought like, Cybernetic Walrus, that sounds kind of cool for a game studio. So that's basically how we came up with that thing.
So a randomly generated computer name. Okay, fair enough. Okay, right. Happy days. So you said that you were developing, or making this game rather, for the Xbox and the Xbox 360, and it's using the Xbox bits and pieces. You want to be the only anti-grav game on Xbox. Well, why is that? Why didn't you want to develop a game for all the platforms? God damn, I say this, but the Nintendo Switch as well, the Xbox and the PS4. Is it a case of you focusing on the Xbox One primarily because it's easy to code for, and then you're moving to PS4 and then to Switch, or you're just going to do the Xbox 360 and so on?
It's going to be the Xbox One. It's not going to be the Xbox 360.
I'm sorry, you're right. Sorry, yeah. I'm sorry. I have a 360 myself, and I'm so used to calling the Xbox the 360. You're right. There is an Xbox. Sorry, apologies, my fault.
No, I said we used controllers for the Xbox 360 earlier, so that might be where the confusion also comes from. But no, we're developing for the Xbox One. So the idea, the primary platform we're targeting first is actually the PC. We're actually developing pure for PC. We have a Linux build and we also have a Mac build. So we have those, and that's one of the advantages of using Unity, that you can easily port the code to those two platforms. So those are the builds of our main focus. And then as a first platform, it's going to be the Xbox. As I said, most of the reason for doing that is not because it's easier to code for. If anything, I think that the Xbox is probably a bit more limited than the PlayStation 4, but that should actually help us, because if we need to get everything good and working on the Xbox, it will be easier to port to the PlayStation. But again, porting these things takes time. You have to go through a certification process to get your games on Xbox. To get your games on any system. So you have to go through a certification process, and that takes time. And it's just that because of this entire school thing, and because of we're actually doing an internship at the moment. Don't know if I touched that, but we're actually doing an internship kind of in our own company, but then helped with, or we're actually doing it in another company that's helping us doing it in our own company. Well, it's very complex. Anyway, we're doing that, and one of the requirements we have for working with that company is that we should release somewhere in September. And it's just impossible to do all the ports for all these systems together because we're only 4 people, so that's only 8 hands to work with. So we want to do more. We definitely want to do PlayStation 4, but again, it will probably depend on how the initial sales of the product go, because we have we're doing a Kickstarter also, and we have one stretch goal which is for the PlayStation 4, so we might make that, and then we probably will release it sooner. But if we don't make that, it's probably going to depend on the initial sales of the game.
Believe it or not, you've actually hit the question I was going to ask you next. But first, I was going to throw something at you. Because you're making a Mac version, I think G's going to love you forever, because he's been hunting for a Mac game for a very, very long time. I'm actually want to know a little bit more about your Kickstarter. Could you please tell me all about it? Where, what, how much you need, all that jazz. Because I believe the PS4 is a 50,000 euro stretch goal. I believe, if I read that stretch goals correctly.
You did. So basically, what we are trying to do is to get 30,000 euros on the Kickstarter. So that's the main goal. I'm gonna be honest, it's not going that well at the moment, but it was kind of expected because we knew we didn't really have a big following yet, and we were kind of hoping by doing the Kickstarter to get more people following the game, and so far it's working. But it's working in a sense that we have doubled the number of subscribers to our Facebook, to our Twitter, all of these things are running, but it doesn't really have an effect on the Kickstarter just yet.
Well, that's also why you're here.
Yeah, of course. So hopefully this will get us going again. It hasn't stalled, so that's also a good thing, but it's not really moving as it should. But stranger things have happened on Kickstarter. So basically, we want to raise 30,000 more euros. We already have 60,000 euros that we have from the Flemish Audiovisual Fund, together with our own money we have put in. So we're actually putting in our own money to get the development going. And that extra 30k, we mainly want to raise it to do some more polishing on the game, and to get a small part also going to marketing, because we're going to be present at Gamescom, so that's confirmed. We're going to be there in the business area, but we also want to be there in the entertainment area. All of these things cost a massive amount of money, and also a little part of the Kickstarter goes to that. but most of it goes to the development and even more polishing and getting everything ready for release. And that's basically why we want to get to 30,000 euros.
Okay, so just confirm this for me. Your Kickstarter started when?
It started. Let me think. It's already so long ago. No, it started on Thursday, the 27th of April. So we're already 2 weeks into the Kickstarter.
And your Kickstarter ends end of this month, yes. And
yes,
the 29th,
yes.
I believe it was. What'd you say it was? Sorry?
It's Tuesday, I think the 30th, actually.
Okay,
Yeah.
30th. Happy days. Now, you've mentioned before that you want to do more polishing to the game. Dude, let me tell you this right now. That game does not need any more polish for my eyes. It looks absolutely delicious. I could eat the pictures that are coming from my screen when I saw the intros and teasers and whatever have you. Stunning visuals. Stunning. I don't think it needs any more polish, to be brutally honest. How are you going to polish it even more? Good God.
Yeah, it's not only polishing the visuals. I know the visuals are on point. I mean, well, there's always things you can do. We're actually still doing things to that. But it's more like polishing the menus. Like I said, the tutorial thing, it doesn't have the keyboard layouts yet, doesn't have those things. All of these things also cost time. People need to realize that everything you have to put in a game costs time, and something that costs time actually costs money. And yeah, at the end, I always say at the end you have to eat. If you don't eat, you die, and then you can't make a game. So basically that's why you need money, to make sure, and that's why you guys have to support our Kickstarter, so we don't starve and actually can finish the game.
I understand. Devs got to eat too. Devs have got to eat too.
Yeah.
Gee, I've hogged the microphone for a bit. You ask the next few questions, mate.
Well, I kind of wanted to jump back a little bit because you're saying you're going to Gamescom. Will we find you up in the indie arena?
Well, we applied to the indie arena booth. I know it was open till the 4th of May for the application, but we haven't heard back. I believe I actually contacted them once, and they said, yeah, after the applications are closed, and they are going to decide like which indie games they're going to take with them to Gamescom. So we're kind of like hoping and looking towards being one of the games there. So normally, if all goes well and they like what they see, I guess we should be in the indie arena, yes.
Well, I can just say every time I go to Gamescom, and it's been a few times now, Indie Arena is the place to go. It's, at least as a visitor, as somebody into games, it grows every year. It gets bigger and bigger, I expect, within this year or next. They'll take the whole Hall 10 and just be that one thing. But that's where all the interesting games are. If you want the flashy stuff, go to the other areas. If you want the interesting stuff, go to the Indie Arena.
I think it's also the place where you can still move around. I mean, if you go to I've only been there once, like last year was the first time I actually went to Gamescom. We actually had the game running there in a very early version, not graphically as polished as it is now, but we were in the education area. So we were there with the school. We had a lot of people play, but like nobody ever passes through the education area apparently. And they also hid it away somewhere, so nobody could actually find it. But yeah, if you go to the main area, it's crazy. I haven't seen it. People that haven't been there, it's insane. It's like the only place I know where they sell chairs during a convention to sit on, because you have to wait so long in line if you want to do any of the big name games.
Yeah, it's my pet peeve. I tend to go there as a private person because it has my interests as a private person. But all the big games are just not interesting because you literally wait up to an hour sitting in a queue. And when I say up to an hour, that's not the extremist. That's just for most games. I have pictures from last year where it says waiting time from here, 2 hours and plus.
I've seen places. I mean, I remember because we were there as we had developers badges or like exhibitor badges rather, so we could actually enter an hour earlier before the normal crowd gets in, and we actually queued for Battlefield 1 just to give it a go. We stood in line for an hour, so already there was like an hour of queuing going on, and that was before the normal visitors entered. And when it was actually our turn to play and we got out, the queue was already 4 hours. So it's insane. I don't think you will have to wait that long to play our game if we're there. So, well, it would be cool, but I don't think so.
Do you know what? People should queue up for it, because Bamm just mentioned it's on Mac. I've been playing it a little bit before we joined here, and also earlier this week. It's a nice game. It plays well. It's beautiful.
The visuals are gorgeous. There's a fair amount of blur and some bloom going on, but again, it has to get all that, the light and the contrast going on so you can see where you're going. I have to agree a little bit with you. It's early days, there's still some optimization. With the wrong settings on my Mac, I had over a second of input lag. That's a little bit too much.
Yeah, we are not really Mac users. I'm gonna be honest to that. So we have a Mac which we use to test things on. So it might need some work. Now there is one good thing I can tell you, and that is that we're actually in the process of moving to the Unity 5.6, which does support the Metal API. And as far as I know, that most Mac users are really happy about those things because it makes things go smoother, if I'm not mistaken.
Every Mac user whose Mac is from 2013 and forward, which exactly means that the guy who'll be editing the audio for this interview, Ethan, he won't care because his Mac is too old. But yeah, Metal definitely helps in it.
All right. So yeah, that's coming anyway. So
Mike, let me just stop you there. Let me say what you unfortunately can't say. Burn all the Macs and OS. Done. Go to Windows. End of story. Mac, go get rid of it. Burn it. Melt it.
we can't say that. We want to support as many people as possible. So.
Oh no, it's basically a piss take on G and Eben, because they constantly bleat and moan and whinge about how awesome their closed system is, and constantly complain, bleat and whinge and moan about how terrible it is at the same time. So just a cheeky jab, burn all the Macs, because it's terrible. I can say that, you see. Unfortunately, mate, you can't. So again, I've got another question for you, dude. Real-time racing via the internet and crossplay. Will we be seeing that with this game?
Yes, you will. We're still working on it at the moment, but so I can tell you a bit more about how the multiplayer is going to look like.
Please, tell me all the informations.
Yes, well, I'll try to give as much as I can without spoiling everything. But basically, the idea is that we're going to work with by hosting our own dedicated servers. So there are a couple of ways of doing multiplayer. One of them is have one player be the host and then every other player connecting to that. The main problem with that is that the host has a big advantage because he doesn't have any lag to deal with. So we want to stay away from that. We actually want the races to be interesting. So we are planning on having our own dedicated servers. We're testing those at the moment. So that's one part. Then the idea is to have a matchmaking system. So races can have up to 8 players at the moment. We're probably going to test to see if we can do more, but at the moment it's going to be 8 players. And we want to have like a matching and ranking system to like put players with the same skill and like the same kind of vehicles together, because that's also one of the things we have, which is not fully worked out in the alpha we released, is that we're going to have vehicle customization, and that means that every part on your vehicle will have some impact on the vehicle itself. Like it might move faster, it might turn a bit sharper. So those things we want to put in, and that means that we want to have like people that are kind of on the same skill level and kind of on the same vehicle, that they actually race together. So we want to have a matchmaking for that, so you can do some quick races. Next to that, we're also going to look into racing with friends, but that will not be like competitive. Although we have plans on doing teams, so it's like a lot of plans, but we're still testing stuff out on that.
So, being it's a multiplayer game, will I be able to jump off my ship with a chainsaw and chop the other guy's ship in half, or get a bit of chain and slap his ship, or is there going to be weapons or something? Is it going to be any sort of offensive sort of weaponry about? You have mentioned traps earlier on. Yeah. Is there anything more to that?
Well, the thing is, if you played the game, if you played the alpha, you know that you have 2 things you can do. That's one is trigger a trap, and the other one is trigger a boost. Now, this boost is actually an ability that we're going to change up. So it means you either have a boost, you might have a shield, you might have a weapon you can fire, you might have something different. So we want to change those things up. That's the idea we have for the ability. So it's not just going to be boosting, it's really going to be an ability, and the ability will be tied to components on your ship. So yeah, that's the idea on the weaponry. And then yeah, of course, it's mainly going to be the use of the traps that will be stopping your opponents from winning.
Oh, so basically you're going to go for sleek ships, light weapons, heavy ships, big armor, big weapons, those sorts of things, slow and steady, big guns, fast, sleek, light, sort of pew-pew sort of guns. Okay, that makes sense.
Well, I'm glad it does.
Oh, well, you've got a physics dude on there, so yeah, it needs to make sense. Yeah, I suppose, yeah.
But basically that's the main idea for all of these things. So again, we're still testing all of those things, but it's coming along. So it's probably. I'm also gonna say that it's probably not. We're not probably gonna do another public alpha. So the next version we're gonna be releasing will be a closed version. It will be on the PC. It will be on Steam. So and it's going to be a closed alpha test. People can get into that by pledging to the correct tier on the Kickstarter. So to be sure, if you want to be part of that, you can become a test pilot. Also get a nice skin specifically for your vehicle, so an exclusive there. Yeah, and that's what's coming up.
So I've got a question. What actually powers these anti-gravity bits? Is it bacon? And if it is bacon, where is the bacon?
Oh, it's gravy actually. It's not bacon. It's
no,
gravy.
Dude, nothing beats bacon gravy. Bacon gravy is delicious.
No, it's well, what is powering the engines? It's like a lot of things. It's,
hopes and dreams and butterfly wishes. Yeah.
No, but the funny thing is that we have some people that think that the name of the game is Antigraviator. So that's why we have a gravy joke.
Believe it or not, when I first saw the game, I'm like, anti-gravy, no way, that's right, I read that wrong. Anti-grav, I thought I read that wrong as well.
Yeah.
So
we have people asking us what we have against gravy. Now, I want to make sure that everybody knows we love gravy. The more the merrier.
Fair enough, but do you like bacon?
Yeah, we like bacon too.
Happy days, so where's the bacon?
I don't know yet. So I guess we'll have to do a bacon Easter egg somewhere.
Happy days!
I'm just thinking, could one of the traps be that a slab of bacon, and I mean a giant slab of bacon, shows up, and anybody who hits it just gets out of control? Because once you get too much bacon, you can't control it anymore.
Yeah, the grease from the bacon might slip up the road. We could do something like that, I guess. We'll have to talk to the team about it. Has to fit the style though, and that's going to be a bit more difficult. But
yeah.
Since we have cybernetic walruses, we could have cybernetic bacon. I'm pretty sure of it.
That could be a nice trap.
Yeah.
Well, I've been playing it, as I mentioned earlier. It plays really well. The control is quite sharp, except as that when I messed up my settings and it wasn't very sharp. But I am enjoying this, and it at one point you kind of get, it might be me, but a Star Wars 1 feel where he's racing in his little pod racer and rocks are dropping on you and all that. But be a little bit nicer to people, because at one point I think I was racing on a roof of something, and then there's an arrow saying turn down, and it's going I can't turn down, I can't fly downwards, that doesn't work. And I ran into some cliffs. Bit more signs on the map, please, at least for newbies like me.
Oh, well, we can do that. We can do that. It's still alpha, so we can definitely have more guidance.
I felt really stupid at one point.
Bear in mind, Mark, G doesn't drive a car, okay? So he doesn't know how to read road signs. Okay, he doesn't drive. So take that with a very small pinch of salt. You know what I mean?
Yeah, now I understand why it's not really working for him. Thanks.
Oi!
He doesn't read road signs either. So I please believe it or not, mate, it's okay. It's okay. Don't worry. G just can't read directions or signs. But to be brutally honest, mate, earlier on I made a comment when I first saw the game. Oh, it's Wipehouse. That's actually very unfair to call it Wipeout. And having spoken to you, I see that you guys aren't making Wipeout. You guys are making, if I can find words to describe this, not Wipeout. It's very different. Wipeout was pretty boring, mundane, drive around a racetrack, whatever. This is actually very interesting. Stunning visuals, brilliant gameplay, and the music suits the play very, very well. Suits it very well.
I'm really happy that you say that. We actually have Michael Maas working on the music, and I'm pretty sure that he's unknown to so many of you. But he's actually done like a lot of music for movie trailers and stuff. Like for instance, the Spider-Man 2 movie. He did like trailer music for the O.J. Simpson series that has been on. He did trailer music for Maze Runner. He's really good with all of these things, and he's really working very close with us. So he knows what we like, what we want the game to sound like, and he's really delivering at the moment. I mean, sometimes we have to tell him like, oh no, this track is not it. Like at one time, we had a track that had like a real Mario vibe to it. Didn't really fit the game, but he quickly changed it over, and he's doing an amazing work on all of these soundtracks.
You've done well. You've done very well. It's on point. It actually makes you want to play the game more because you just feel sucked into the world, and obviously good audio and sexy ass visuals that you guys have got helps with the immersion into the game, and your escapism is complete, and all you want to do is play the game. It's you guys done well with the audio. It's very well done.
I'll make sure that I pass that comment on to him. He'll be very glad to hear that.
All right, there we go. Some dude's going to tell a dude about bacon. Brilliant. So please, Mike, tell me. I need to know. Okay, well, I know. I need you to tell me so that everyone can hear where, what, and how they can get into contact with you. And please tell me a bit more about your Kickstarter. So Facebook, Twitters, YouTube, Twitch, Instagram if you've got it, Ghostery if you want to go along that way, and tell me about Kickstarter. The whole bang shoot, please, mate.
So I'll do my best to remember. Remember, I'm old, right? I'm 41, so
mate. I'm there with you, mate. I'm old and cantankerous. I wake up with a walking stick up my arse every day. I'm there with you, dude. Grey beard and everything, mate. I'm there with you.
So anyway, on Facebook, you have a page called Antigrav Game. That's where you can find us on Facebook. You can follow us on Twitter. It's the same Antigrav Game. On Instagram, we have an Antigraviator page. We, of course, have our own website, which is www.antigraviator.com. So we have that. Then there's the Kickstarter page where you can find all of the sites where we currently have the demo on. Now, I was just reminded earlier before we start the interview that there's still a link to our own page, and that's the only place where you actually cannot get the demo at the moment. We are actually really having some problems with the servers. It's a gazillion people trying to download the demo at the moment. I'm probably exaggerating, but our own servers can't really handle the load. They're not dedicated servers for hosting, so we need to upgrade those. But that's something we can't do in a week time. So it's something that's planned for the future. Anyway, we had to remove the download from there because people were getting errors all over. So the best place if you want to try out the alpha, is go to GameJolt, go to IndieDB, go to itch.io, go to Indie Expo, look for Antigraviator, and you will definitely find the game there with an easy download, and you'll be able to play it. Now, at the moment, the Linux and Mac versions are only on GameJolt, but we're planning to do the other, or to have them on other sites as well. It's just taking a bit longer to get to, so don't worry, they're also going to be on those sites. And the Kickstarter, it's running till May 30th. We still have some fun things coming up in regards to the Kickstarter. I can actually lift a small tip, and that is that starting on Friday, we will actually be hosting a design your own skin contest. So we want to give the people that are following us on the channels I just mentioned the opportunity to actually create a skin, which we will, the winner's skin, there's only going to be one winner, we're actually going to put into the game, and everybody will see it and everybody will get to play it. Yeah, that's something we really want to do. So it's going to be, the competition is going to be running at that time.
Right, I'm going to go make a skin. I'm going to call it the Baconator. There we go. Done. It's going to be pink, bro. Yeah, with some white in it. Yes, there we go. That's my skin, the Baconator. Done. That's my skin right there. Done. Happy days.
Definitely go for it, but think about people will judge it. So I'm not sure how far you're going to get with the bacon skin, but who knows? I mean, weirder things have happened.
All right, yes, totally. G, any more questions for Mike?
I don't think so. I would have made a gravy skin, but that's just me, brown gravy. Would have too much grease on it.
Could work. Yeah, there's a lot of possibilities. There are some rules, but everything will be, you can find everything on our website about the competition. It's running till the 30th of June, so you still have some time. we mainly want to do that because we know that a lot of people have a lot of younger people have exams and stuff. Seeing that we are students ourselves, we don't want to stress them during the exam period, so we wanted to give them like a bit more of an extension on time to create a skin for the game. The idea again is that we pick 5 skins that have been entered. We will pick those ourselves, and then the community can vote on those 5, and the one with the most votes will be put into the game and will be playable by everyone.
Nice.
Mike, is there anything else you want to tell everybody else?
What I wanted to say is, like, if you really want this game to be made and you want to support us, we would really love to see you on Kickstarter. But if it's not, it's not that we want to force people to back us on Kickstarter. I know there have been projects that have gone wrong. There are things happening there. So, but if not, do follow us on Facebook. Do follow us on the Twitter. Yeah, just interact with us. You will see that we try to respond as much as possible. And if you haven't seen it, by the way, you should go on Imgur, what is it called? I don't know how to pronounce it. That's me being old.
Imgur. That's what I call it, Imgur.
Yeah,
That's how they write it.
People call it differently. But you should go there. We've made a nice post on there, like how to make an Antigraviator racer game in like 7 easy steps, so everybody can actually do it.
I actually saw that one and forwarded it to Bamm as part of his prep work.
Wait, what? Who? What? All I saw was a Bamm, go look here. I saw Antigraviator. Oh, I'll subscribe because the game looks cool on YouTube. Done.
Oi, okay.
What? I subscribe to them on YouTube. What else do I need to do? I can't build a cave, dude. I'm not technically whiz kid mumbo jumbo like Mike. I can barely make a bacon sandwich, dude, without burning the house down. God.
Having seen photos from where you work, I can agree, burning stuff down does seem to be in your wheelhouse.
Hey, I was given a car today by some random dude. That's my car, dude. I'm fixing it. It's working. I got it to run. All I had was an ABS fault, and the throttle body needed to a new throttle positioning sensor. So I changed that, did the ABS. It now runs. My car now.
Yes, that's the problem. Eventually, you'll have to go uphill.
No. That's taken care of. Just push faster on the acceleration pedal. No problems.
Okay, Mike, I guess we're getting to that point where it's the last question, the final question, the ultimate question. So, it is gonna be a bit weird because Bamm's already been all over the bacon, but it's a question we ask everybody, so bear with me. Mike, do you like bacon? And if so, how do you like bacon? And I'm gonna assume you like bacon. How do you want your bacon? And just as importantly, what kind of beverage do you want with your bacon? And knowing you're Belgian, please don't answer wine.
Oh no, definitely not wine. I mean, I like my bacon like really baked crisp. Put some eggs on top of it, maybe some cheese. I like it in the morning. I don't drink wine. I mean, as a Belgian, we drink beer. Of course, everybody knows that.
Yeah, unfortunately, I've worked with Belgians that drink wine.
Yeah, wrong people, wrong Belgians.
So what kind of beer? Because we have in this country, 462 last count?
Oh yeah, we have many beers. That's for sure. But there's like there's one beer I really like at the moment. It's like new since last year, I think, and it's called Cornet. Weird name, I know. It has some like medieval harness on it, and it's actually a very strong beer, but it's also a very soft beer, and that's what I like drinking. But well, I would suggest not doing that in the morning because I mean one of those could actually kill you right away.
Oh,
sounds like my kind of beer.
Yeah, I had a mental image of, frying some bacon, throwing some egg on, a bit of vache bleu, cheddar on it, and then a really strong beer for breakfast.
Yeah, sometimes, they always say you have to start in the morning with the beer you end it with the night before, so sometimes it has to go that way.
The hair of the dog, yes. But did you call the beer cornet, like a ice cream waffle?
Oh, yeah, it sounds like that. It's kind of written the same. It's Cornet, but you should try it. It's really, if you like Duvel, people know Duvel. I'm pretty sure of that. It's a bit softer in taste, but it's the same strength of beer, so a couple of those will knock you down fast.
This is where I have to ask, is it sweet?
It's not sweet. Like Duvel is like really bitter. This beer is a bit sweeter, but it's not sweet. It's not.
Okay, yeah.
Please tell me more about this Duvel. I've never heard of that beer before. Bear in mind, I live in England, okay, and I want to say English beer is a bit weak. But then I tasted French beer, and French beer is not beer. So this sounds interesting. Duvel, please tell me more about this Duvel beer.
Well, let me take this one just briefly, and Mike, you can add in because you drink probably more Duvel than I do. It's not my favorite beer. Bamm, you like ciders, and you like a little bit bitterness in your ciders, right?
Correct, boss man.
You will like Duvel.
Oh, I'm drooling already. He's talking about bacon and eggs, dude, with some cheese on it, and a nice cider to go with it. Is, oh yes, the guys. He knows how to look after himself. Yes.
No, you haven't seen a picture of me, so that's clear. Or you would say different things. But no, I mean, Duvel, it's a strong beer. It's not for heavy drinking at night. It's more like a beer you want to enjoy sitting in the sun. And speaking of sun, like today we had a very nice day. So yeah, that's when you actually want to sit down on the terrace and drink a nice Duvel. It's like 8 degrees in or 8% of alcohol. I think that's the correct way to say it. So it's kind of strong. I think a normal beer is like 5 and this is like 8. So yeah, it's kind of strong.
My son, please listen to me. An 8% beer is where it needs to be at. That's a good beer.
Well, you'll like it. I'm pretty sure you'll like it. But promise me one thing: don't drink Holland beer, Netherlands beer, because that's the worst. I mean, if you tasted French, if you tasted French, if you go to the Netherlands, you drink Dutch beer like Heineken. No, that doesn't work. I mean, we Belgians, we don't like it. I think there's gonna be like street protests if they keep selling it.
Street protests on a Heineken. Fair enough.
I have to agree. Every time I go back home and somebody goes, "Oh, look, I have an international beer," and they bring up a Heineken, and we're like, "Yeah, I'm just gonna leave now. Is that okay? Ciao."
May I suggest to you, gentlemen, there is a beer brewed by South African breweries, and now it is a very mild beer. When I say mild, it's very I want to say it's very French-like, very weak, but it's called Castle Lager. Okay, I know it's not a beer, it's a lager, blah blah blah. But if you ever get a chance to taste a Castle Lager, please go out of your way and taste it, because that is probably the best beer out of South Africa, Castle Lager. And I will drink that by the bucket load because it's a good beer. It's a bit on the weak side. It's 5.5%. It's a bit weak. And it does taste like ringed out underwear with dirty washing sort of thing, but it's still a good beer. Try that when you guys get a chance, Nick.
All right, we'll give it a go. But since I just hear that if you guys are going to Gamescom, I feel a meeting coming up with a lot of beer drinking and a lot of talking, so we could definitely do something like that.
I don't think G can drink and drive because he's in a wheelchair, you see, so I don't think he'll be allowed to. So you can drink, G will just have to sit and watch.
Oi. Mike, I think if you're ever in Brussels, we'll have to drop by Delirium Tremens bar and see if they have that Castle Lager thing that Bamm says.
Yeah, we should try it. I'm all up for it now.
Okay, well, I think we've kind of spent quite a lot of time talking about beer. Should we wrap this up, Bamm?
Let's wrap this up. We're all beer enthusiasts. I'm sorry, I'm still thinking about Meals on Wheels.
Goody. Well, Mike, it's been an absolute pleasure having you on. Even if you stole all our questions and just answered them right away. As I said, I've been playing the game. I've been enjoying it. Yeah, it's an early alpha or an alpha, and I kind of hope that I get to play the next stages as well and get some online multiplayer thing going on and probably be completely beaten by everybody.
Well, we'll be glad to have you, and we'll be glad to have people test the game. So yeah. Well, we'll make it happen. That's for sure.
And as you already said, as Bamm already said, everybody go check out the Kickstarter. Go check out the web pages. If you're on one of the weird platforms, head over to GameJolt at least, because that's where I found my Mac version, the Linux version, etc. Try it out and then go back these guys because they really need it, and back them enough that we can get a PS4 version as well.
Yeah, we definitely would love to make that happen right away. But as said, and that's the truth. If we're not gonna make that stretch goals, then yeah, it will definitely depend on how the initial sales of the game go. So far, all of the feedback, well, mostly all of the feedback has been very, very positive. If you look on GameJolt, there's like a few, well, there's very few negative comments, but yeah, I think too we're really onto something. We're trying to do our best to make it a really good game. As you guys mentioned, the controls, I do like them, and I'm gonna be honest again, I'm not really a race gamer myself. That's one of the things I haven't played that much, but yeah, now with these controls, I absolutely adore it too, and I sometimes just find myself playing while I should be working. So yeah,
It was a pleasure having you on today. Honestly, it was. You've got a very, very slick, very sexy looking game. You guys have done a marvelous job, and I'm surprised you guys say polish. That is, it looks really good, and the audio, music rather, fits the game to a T. You guys have done very, very well in the time you've done it, and I really do hope you guys actually pull through the Kickstarter, even though you really haven't, done the legwork for it. Getting people out there, whatever have you. I'm interested to see how being on the Kickstarter lifts you guys up a little bit more. Perhaps it does work, perhaps it doesn't. I really do hope it does. I'm gonna go talk to Eben and see if he's gonna back it with me, because I'm gonna back this. It seems that every time a Kickstarter comes along, I'm backing it. It's killing my bank balance, it really is. So Eben and I are probably gonna go back here and see what we can go from there. So honestly, mate, good luck. And I really hope to see you in the future. Gee, you need to hook up with this guy at Gamescom, by the way.
Yeah, otherwise Coeck and Antwerp are just, a train ride away. So
Well,
out of
yeah.
date.
By the way, Mike, if you need some spare hands, G will come work for free, by the way. He will work for free. He might take a bacon sandwich from you. So, actually, we might actually have to send you bacon.
What
Seriously,
did I do
that's
now?
not a bad idea, actually. That's not a bad idea. A few episodes ago, a dev recently said, "Oh, you'll never send me bacon." I got one of our friends, a guy called Draconusx, who's actually in this chat right now, to drive about 3 hours and give this guy bacon. Geez, only a short train drive away. I'm sure he can wheel himself and get himself bacon somewhere. Gee, go give this guy bacon. There we go.
Bamm, Coeck is about 80 kilometers away from me. By train in Belgium, that's about a day and a half.
Dude, your train system is as broken as the UK's train system. Go and give this guy bacon. Go.
We'll have to see.
Go, bacon, go.
but yeah, we're actually one more thing. We're actually moving to Antwerp soon, so that will be shorter. So you can bring bacon and coffee every morning if you want.
There we go. Go give him bacon. Antwerp, go.
I love Antwerp. It's a nice city, pretty city. It's a good city, but we'll see.
I'll even send you Danish bacon from England.
That makes no sense.
I know. All right. Okay. Fine. Happy days. Right, Mike. Thank you very much for joining us today. Thank you very, very much. It was nice to meet you. Next time we'll have to talk to your team. I'm gonna get G. I'm gonna bully him into sending you some bacon, personal delivery on his wheelchair, and we'll see how that goes. From me, Mike. Thank you for joining us, and I hope to see you soon.
It was a pleasure being on the show, and thank you for having me.
And for me, nothing else but ciao.